So, dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 7th Grow and Connect webinar. My name is Anna Peko and I'm the Grow and Connect platform manager. So before we move on to a few announcements that I wanted to make today, I just wanted to remind you that this session is being recorded and we will share the recording with you sometime next week. Now, when sending a message in chat, please make sure to send it to everyone. And I would also very much like you to please fill in a very short survey form at the end of the webinar. So this is a great way for you to let us know how we can do better next time, and also to propose other topics that you think might be beneficial for your professional growth. So this is the link to the SurveyMonkey, and I will also share this link at the end of my presentation today. Now, as far as I know, our presenter today wanted to use a couple of interactive features in Webex, so I just wanted you to take a moment to locate those features. When you put your cursor on the left of the Webex screen, you will see a toolbar that includes that kind of, a scribble icon. So once you click on that scribble icon, you will be able to annotate. So write anything on the screen or put an arrow, of course, with the presenter's permission. Now, I think that you already know where you can find the chat box. So when you go to the participants tab, it will be essentially next to the participants list. And right above the chat box, you should be able to locate the feedback icon, which looks very much like a megaphone. Use that feature to let your presenter know that she's speaking too fast or too slow, or simply answer questions such as yes, no, or express your emotions. And now I will move on to a couple of announcements. So first of all, I wanted to let you know that our team has finalized the learning path, which is called Converting Training for Online Learning. So this learning path consists of a couple of webinars and self-paced courses. And the first one on the list is Considerations for Moving the Classroom Online, which I think many of you are already familiar with. So the Considerations for Moving the Classroom Online gives you an overview of the different things that are available for you when you are moving your face-to-face presentations to online. Now, the next course in this learning path is called From Live in the Classroom to Live Online. It compares the face-to-face learning and live online learning and provides the different options for you to make your online learning more interactive. And creating the 24/7 classroom is all about online self-study options. And the course that we have just finalized, which is a new self-study course, is called Mixing It Up, Blending Learning Options for the Online Classroom. And I guess the title is kind of self-explanatory, so it lets you mix all the different options that were discussed in previous courses. So once again, I would like to remind you that all the self-study courses are available through GLC, and they're available free of charge. And I will share the link to these courses after my presentation. In other news, the Principles for Learning and the Guide to Training, together with the 2 supplements on gender inclusion and FCS, are now available in Arabic. So we haven't uploaded them on the website yet, but they should become available probably early next week. And in my follow-up email to all participants, I will make sure to include the link where you can upload those publications in Arabic if this is your native language. Next, our upcoming sessions. So on April 15th, we will welcome Adaora Babatunde. Adaora is a GLC master trainer, and she will share very valuable insights with our training professionals about how they can stay profitable in all kinds of situations, including the pandemic. For the French-speaking audience, we are organizing 25th, which is just a week from now, a week from today. We are organizing the information session with the French-speaking team members, as well as French-speaking master trainers. So this will be a great opportunity for our training community to have all the questions answered. You will also get an overview of the resources that are available to you in French, and in general, let's just get to know each other. The invite will be coming out, if not today, then probably tomorrow. Now on April 22nd, our French-speaking master trainer Mehdi Shahed will conduct a webinar on coaching. So this webinar will be different from today's coaching session. So once again, if you speak both languages, feel free to join us on April 22nd. And now I'd like to quickly introduce our presenter and our guest, and I think it would be more appropriate for me to start with a guest. So Adaora has over 20 years of experience. She serves as the president and as a board member of the International Coaching Federation, Nigeria chapter. Adaora is also the CEO of Easy 37 Solutions. This is an HR consulting firm based in Nigeria that provides certification in professional coaching. Welcome, Adaora. And Sandra Ihenacho, she is our master trainer. She is also the ICLPI TPMA trainer. She is a certified transformational coach, and she's also the signatory to the GLC Principles for Learning. Sandra is also the executive director of the organization that serves underprivileged girls through mentorship programs. She is the adjunct faculty member at Lagos Business School, where she teaches classes in the Executive MBA program, and she also teaches coaching in the Executive Leadership program. Sandra, over to you. Enjoy the webinar.
Thank you very much, Anna. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're signing in from. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning, this afternoon, this evening. And Anna, thank you once again. And Adaora, thank you also once again for being the guest, my special guest of honor on this webinar.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. So this is going to be an interactive session. We're going to be making use of the whiteboard. We're also going to be making use of the chat box. Even though it's a webinar, I know we have people signed in and from different parts of the world would want us to make this interactive, so at least we will get something out of this. So Anna's already done the introductions for Adaora and I. So this is me and this is Adaora. So we move on to what next. Same thing, Anna has also talked about making use of the online tools during the webinar. So please ensure you make use of it, the chat box, so we could know what your intentions are and what your needs are as we proceed. So before I continue, I would like to let you know I'll have to turn off my video. I want to stop the video now because of issues with connectivity and to ensure that you hear me clearly. So with your permission, I would stop the video now. Thank you. So good. So we all have to make use of how we can make use of the online tools during the webinar. Before we go into that, exactly what we're doing, what makes coaching work? We're going to be taking a poll now. So I'm going to put up the poll now. So we have 4 polls. The first poll, which I'm going to be putting up now, is a single answer poll. It's a multiple choice question, a single answer, and just choose one answer. Then the second, when we get to the second poll, I will also tell you what to do. So I'm opening up the poll now. Okay, so please, the poll is open. What motivated you? Okay, good. I can see people typing in. Okay, thank you, thank you. Thank you. So we have people writing to improve my knowledge, my coaching skills, okay? To solve a problem, to learn the basics. Thank you very much for all those participating in this poll now. I think I will give us just 30 seconds more to allow more people to participate in the poll, after which I will close the poll. And now share with us what the response has been. What motivated you to register for today's webinar? What exactly motivated you? Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for all those that participated in the poll. Thank you very much. So I would close this poll and now read out to us what we have. So for all those so we have people that said they joined the poll, this webinar, because they want to learn the basics of coaching. We have 1 person saying to solve a problem, 7 persons saying to learn the basics of coaching. Then we have 14 persons saying to improve my knowledge of coaching. And we have 2 persons saying others. So thank you so much for all those. And to improve my coaching skills, thank you. 14 people also said that. So thank you so much for all those that participated in this poll. At least this gives Adaora and I an idea of the participants on call and an idea of people we'll be speaking with to ensure that this webinar meets your need. So we will just take a second poll, and the essence of this poll is just to understand and to know those that are with us on this call. So if you do not mind, please join in the second poll. How would you rate your knowledge around coaching? How would you rate your knowledge around coaching? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for those participating. Wow. Wow. Thank you very much for those participating. I can see the numbers coming in. Okay. So I would end the poll now. I'll close the poll because we have 4 polls, so we have 2 more to go, because this is giving us an idea of those who we'll be speaking with. Thank you very much. It seems we have a lot of persons that are on the intermediate level for coaching. Okay, thank you so much for all those that participated. So I'm going to close the poll now and read the information, the results of the poll. So we have 2 persons that said no knowledge. Okay, so we have just the seconds are counting down. Okay, let me just allow it to finish counting down. Good. Okay, so let me read out the results for us. So we have 2 persons that said they have no knowledge. We have 6 persons that are beginners when it comes to coaching. We have 17 persons that are on intermediate on coaching. And we have 8 persons that are advanced. They're no experts. So thank you so much for those that are participating in this poll. So we go quickly to the third poll. Go quickly to the third poll. Do you have any experience with coaching, and what is your experience? So this already gives us an idea of those on call here. So we have intermediate coach, people that have an intermediate knowledge, people that have also an advanced knowledge. Okay. Thank you for those participating in this poll. Do you have any experience in coaching? Okay, so we can see a lot of persons have had experience in coaching. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to have to end the poll now so that we will go to the 4th and last poll for today. At least that is giving us an idea. Adaora and I, we both now have an idea of those on call here. So thank you very much. So we have the countdown that gives us how many persons. So we're having a countdown. I'm waiting for you participants to submit your responses. If you're still submitting, waiting for you to submit before the poll finally closes. 3, 2, 1. Good. Thank you very much. So we have 30 persons that have coached other people. Wow. Then we have 16 persons that have been coached by people. Then we have 3 persons that says, no, I do not have any experience in coaching. So we have a lot of persons on the call that have experience with coaching. That's wonderful. And we have just 1 person saying, I am not sure. Thank you so much. So we go to the last poll for today. So we have people that have experience with coaching here, and that would help us and guide our discussion. The last but not the least poll. Who do you think benefits more from coaching? Who do you think benefits more from coaching? Who do you think benefits more from coaching?
I believe here participants can select several answers, right, Sandra?
Yes, please, Anna. Yes, please. So please, Anna, thank you for that cue. So please, you can select more than 1 answer. So it's a multiple answer question. You can select more than 1 answer. Okay. So we have, wow. Okay. So we have various positions coming in. Okay, so I think if you permit me, I will have to close the poll now and then read out the results. So if there are some persons still trying to submit their poll, trying to submit your responses on the poll, please feel free to do that now We have the countdown going, after which I will now announce what the responses are. 3, 2, 1. Good. So we have 25 persons that say they think the coach benefits more from a coaching relationship, benefits most. Then we have 37 persons that say that the coachee is the person being coached. So the coach is the person coaching, the coachee is the person being coached. We have 37 persons saying that the coachee benefits most in the relationship. Then we have 30 persons saying that is a client organization, meaning the coachee's organization that benefits most in the relationship. And nobody says none of the above. And nobody says none of the above. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for participating in this poll. And Adaora, I'm sure this is giving us, when Adaora and I were discussing, we also talked about this. This is giving us an idea of those who are on call today. So we move. Yeah, thank you. So we'll move to the next thing we have on the next slide. So now, what are your expectations from this webinar? So can you we're going to be using an activity, we're going to be using the chat box. So please feel free to type into the chat box. And do not forget, just like Anna said, ensure you're sending it to everyone, not just 1 or 2 persons. What are your expectations? So let's go with the expectations first before we go to the benefits. What are your expectations from this webinar? What would you want to get? What knowledge do you want to get from this webinar? What do you want to get out of this? So if you don't mind, kindly type into chat, use the chat box and just type in, and ensure you're typing into everyone, you're posting to everyone. What are your expectations? Okay, I have Margaret Jackson talking about current coaching techniques. Okay. I can see Kat is saying improve my coaching skills. Okay. I can see understand the basic tools for coaching, the challenges. You haven't explained benefits of coaching. Okay. Tips on giving effective coaching. Learn how coaching works. Where do you begin? You want to learn the skills used in coaching, the coaching models, different methodologies of coaching, the new trend. Wow. Okay, so we have so many things being popped into chat to improve my coaching skills and approach taking, new insights. And okay, so we can have it still coming. But why I also asked for the expectation is this webinar is just for 1 hour, 15 minutes, and the 15 minutes will be for Q&A. And I can see some of your expectations, but based on the timing, and we know the time, coaching is a voluminous topic to talk about. So we may not be able to meet up with all you've said, like the coaching techniques, the coaching models. There are various models, but Adaora and I could tip in from time to time. But what we know is you will be getting what coaching is not, what are the benefits, how do you improve your coaching. So some of those things we'll be able to address some of your questions. So that was why we always ask for expectations, to ensure that your expectations are not cut short. Okay, thank you so much for all those that popped into chat. You're wonderful participants. So next thing we want to look at is, what are the benefits? What would you say you want to derive? What is the advantage? So you left all you're doing to be in this webinar, and I'm sure you want to take something out of it. And I'm sure there's something you want to do with it, maybe when you get to your organization, in your life, in your business. What is the benefit? What benefit do you want to derive from this webinar? Is there anybody that wants to, can you pop into chat? This is an activity that I also need to use with chat. We're going to be doing a lot of activity during this webinar. We're going to be typing into chat. We're going to be using the whiteboard. Thank you. Nana says, making coaching effective in my organization. Awesome. And you will definitely be able to do that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. To prospect more clients in my business. Yes, surely you'll be able to do that. It will benefit my coaching. Awesome. Become an effective coach. Wow. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Coaching skills, to be able to coach, skills for your junior team members. Awesome, awesome. So thank you once again for all those. So please keep popping into chat. Please keep popping into chat. But thank you for all those that have popped into chat. We are looking at, Adaora is also looking at it. So in case I missed anything, and that's why she's my special guest. So she's also looking at what you have there. So we are going to try our best to ensure all these things are achieved. Thank you very much, everyone, once again. So we'll move ahead. There's somewhere Adaora and I are taking you this afternoon, and we call it the destination. I don't know if you can see, I'm sure you can see this picture by the side. I think I want to go to somewhere like this. I think, where do you have, I think, is it the Bahamas? Yes, where you have just the sun upon my head and just lying on the beach and all that. I don't know where is your next vacation destination. So just think about that. That is where Adaora and I want to take you this afternoon. We have a destination in place, and that place is somewhere you would have fun, you would enjoy yourself, you would relax, and you will achieve your goals. And that brings me to what our webinar objectives are. By the end of this webinar, you should be able to identify at least 2 reasons why coaching may not be working for you, or for somebody you know. It may not be you, it may be somebody else you know by your side that coaching has not been working for, and the person says, I'm not interested in this coaching again, it's not working for me. So you will be able to identify at least 2 reasons why coaching may not be working for you. Another place we want you to objective for this our webinar is you will be able to identify at least 2 ways to make coaching work for you. Yes, we have various ways coaching could work, but at least 2 ways to make coaching work for you. Then last but not the least, you should be able to list at least 2 benefits of coaching, either to you as an individual, or to your business for those that run their businesses, or to the organization for those that are employees in the workplace. Coaching has so many benefits, numerous benefits, but at least be able to identify 2. So those are our webinar objectives. Now, how are we going to get to that destination? I told you about me going to the Bahamas. I don't know if you don't mind, you can pop into chat where you want I know COVID has happened, yes. So let's take it after COVID. COVID has happened, so a lot of people don't want to go to the Bahamas or any other place. So let's take it after COVID and life has come back, we turn back to normal. Where is that place you've always desired to go to? That's why I told you Bahamas, that's where I've desired to go to. And after COVID is done and life has returned to normal, I will definitely go to the Bahamas. So, but there's something that is going to take me to the Bahamas. There's something taking us to that objective. There's some, wow, someone said Seychelles. So I got that correctly. Okay, wonderful, Thomas. Thank you so much. So how do we get to where we are going to? How do we get to that destination? How do we get there? One way is we're going to be looking at what is coaching. Because a lot of persons have a wrong impression of what coaching is. So we're going to be demystifying that word coaching. What exactly is coaching? And it seems coaching is the buzzword now. Most organizations are talking about coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, and everybody's like, excuse me. So what exactly is coaching? Then we'll also be looking at what coaching is not. We're also going to be looking at that because we know that people have assumed coaching to be so many things. So we're going to be looking at what coaching is not. And I don't want to lead you yet. So let me allow you. When we get there, you will know what it is. Now, we're also going to be looking at why coaching may not be working. So if you're the person saying coaching has not been working for me, why is it not working? There are reasons why it's not working. So we're going to be looking at that. Then another thing we're going to also be looking at is what makes coaching work. So for coaching to work, there are things, there are elements that must be in place. So we're going to be looking at that. And last but not the least, we're going to be looking at the benefits of coaching to you as the individual and to the business. And next thing, Adaora and I will call you, we'll give you an action plan, a call to action. You cannot leave this webinar without deciding what will I be doing differently, or what will I continue to do, or what will I want to change. It would be wonderful if you could have an action plan. So these are the things that will lead us to our destination. And so we move on, just to introduce the topic. Coaching is essentially a skill. This is what I keep saying, and from various research and various, from experience to various research. But coaching is not just a skill, coaching is also an art. And I'm going to talk more about that art when we come to what coaching is, and you will understand what I mean. Coaching is not just a skill, it's also an art. And so for you to be able to effectively coach, you need to be ready to practice every time. You need to practice all the time. And apart from practicing, you must understand exactly what coaching is. Because if you don't understand what coaching is, then you wouldn't know if you're coaching or you're not coaching. Then also, Coaching never focuses on past mistakes. No, we look at possibilities. We look at the future. Now, Adaora and I do not want to turn you into expert coaches. No, we can't do that within a session of 1 hour, 30 minutes. No, we are not turning you into expert coaches. But rather, what do Adaora and I want to do today? We want to expose you. We want to open up the secrets, the treasures, the beautiful things that are bound in coaching. So that's what we want to do within this 1 hour. And we hope you will join us in this journey and be able to discover those secrets and those treasures that are bound in coaching. Now, what is coaching? There's another activity. I hope the activity is not too much, but that's how we would both enjoy. We'll both work together to ensure this webinar is effective. Now, please, if you don't mind, pop into chat. What do you think coaching is? It doesn't matter what your definition is. It doesn't matter what you want to say. It's okay what you say, because we're all here to learn. What is coaching? What do you think coaching is? Is there somebody that wants to pop into chat? What do you think coaching is? What exactly is coaching? What exactly is coaching? What have you heard? Oh, thank you so much, Nana. Nana says coaching is an art of helping others see the need for change. Wow. And that's beautiful, Nana. Motion says to unleash others' potential. I like that word, unleash. And that's what we are doing. Help others to unleash their potentials. Varana, thank you so much. Helping someone get the best out of their potential from Shola. Thank you. Guiding someone to bring out the best in him or herself. Wow. Global knowledge and consulting. That's wonderful. I guess, Adaora, are you not sure we're going to allow this participants to be the ones to take this webinar? They're just awesome participants. They have a wide idea. Wonderful. Thank you so much for everyone that's popped into chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, I want to start explaining what coaching is by looking at the ICF definition. ICF is the International Coaching Federation. We have other bodies that moderate coaching in the world, but ICF is seen as one of those bodies that moderate, ensure that we coaches, we certify coaches, have been certified using the right competence, keeping the ethics of the job and all that. And this is what ICF says. If you look at this first picture, that would even tell you the image. ICF says coaching can be defined as partnering with clients. That's what we are doing. So are you an internal coach in your organization? You're partnering with that report, the person working with you, the person reporting to you, you're partnering with them. Are you an external coach working for clients? That is exactly what you're doing. The coachee, who is the person being coached, is not doing it on his own. Then you, the coach, coaching the person, and you're not doing it on your own. Rather, you, the coach, and the coachee, the person being coached, you're coming together to partner to make this work. To partner to ensure that the coachee, the client, achieves his or her goals. To partner to ensure that, using that word, I think that's Motion said, it said unleashing the potentials within the person. Partnering with that person, with that individual, to ensure that he or she is able to unleash that potential within himself or herself. Because really, everybody has something in him or herself. And I like what Thomas said. He said it's a co-creation. Yes, that is what it is. So you're working together, not one person leading the other person. Rather, you're working together. And looking at the second image of this image is also telling you, this is what I said I was going to talk about. Same ICF also says, it says, when you partner with your clients, you are partnering with them in a thought-provoking and creative process. Mark those words, thought-provoking, meaning that most times your client thinks thoughts that they never imagined could come from them. They are able to bring out those thoughts. Why? Because you, the coach, used your questioning skills. So for a coach, you must be very high on questioning skills. You should be able to ask the right questions. You should be able to ask the questions at the right time. So not just asking the right questions, but asking the right questions at the right time. And sometimes I've had experience with some of my coaches, my clients I've coached, and they're like, I never knew I had this within me, and I just smiled. Yes, you did have it within you. You just needed someone to unleash it and unlock it. So you partner with your clients in a thought-provoking way and in a creative process. creative means, and that's why I told you, coaching is a skill and an art. So an art means you need to be creative about the process. Fine, we have a system, a systematic way we follow, but every individual is not the same. So how you coach those individuals will not be the same, even though you're using the same kit, the same model, or you're using the same systematic approach, but how you now relate is very important. So, and you're doing all this to do what? To bring out and to ensure the person maximizes his personal and professional potential, not just personal potential, but also professional potential. So according to ICF, that is what coaching is. Now, according to Timothy Galway, now, I was reading something about Timothy Galway and I was like, wow. So Timothy Galway is the founder of what we call the inner game. He was the one that wrote the book on the inner game of tennis. For those that love playing tennis, read his book. You're going to be apt in your tennis skills. The inner game of tennis, the inner game of skiing, yes, and the inner game of golf, yes. Those are the 3 books he wrote. And because of the skills and how he wrote the book, he's now known as the godfather of the current coaching movement on. And what did Timothy Galway said? He said, coaching is helping people learn rather than teaching them. Take note, you are not a teacher, you are a coach. Meaning that we are not teaching people, rather we are helping them to learn. And if you look at the image I have on the side, can you see what the young man is doing? He's just helping the lady. He's assisting her. So take note, we do not teach people, rather we assist them to learn what they want to learn. And I have somebody, so I put the godfathers of coaching, I put their coaching definitions here. And another person I respect so much in the coaching world is Sir John Whitmore. Sir John Whitmore is, so someone asked about the model. So I use this model a whole lot. There are a lot of coaching models. So one of the models out there, which is the one Sir John Whitmore uses, is called the GROW model. GROW, the GROW model. G stands for goals, R stands for realist, where you are, reality, O stands for options, and W stands for will. So that's a model. For those that ask that question, that's a model you can use, but there are various models. And this is something he says. He says, coaching is unlocking, which is what Moshin has also said, unlocking a person's potential. But what fascinated me is when he likened coaching to a magnificent oak tree, to an oak acorn. He said an acorn already has everything it needs to become a magnificent oak tree. But what that acorn needs is, what he needs is just nourishment, encouragement, and the light to be able to reach into himself or herself. So that is what we do as coaches. That is what you do for your coachees or your clients. What they need from you is just nourishment. What they need from you is just guidance, encouragement, right questioning, to be able to unleash that oak treeness within them, because they already have it within them. You're not doing anything magically for them. What you're doing is trying to bring out what they already have within them. And last but not the least, before I hand over to Adaora, coach, according to the Association for Coaching for the UK, if you look at this image on the left-hand side, it says, together we create. I think there was someone that popped into chat and said, co-creation. I love that. And that is the word. So we create together. It's a collaborative process. It's not the coachee, the staff waiting for me to tell you what to do. No, we do it together. We come together to ensure that we're able to get a solution for what it is you want and be able to ensure that you grow. So I want over to Adaora. Adaora, what would you say coaching is at this point in time, Adaora?
All right. Wow. So Sandra, so exciting to be here. Always very passionate to talk about coaching and to be amongst the midst of people who really want to change lives, because coaching does change lives. So what I'll describe coaching to be is an art and a science of change. Now, what I've found is that, the secret to success for a lot of people is coaching. Almost on a weekly basis, I come across a lot of individuals who have either lost track of their goals, or maybe they've just totally forgotten about them or buried them, especially, in the times that we're in, where there's so much disruption and, so much confusion in a lot of people's lives. And they sometimes find it hard to think properly and to think clearly. So, this is where coaching comes in. My experience is that coaching is actually a process where you have a trusted confidant. And I underline that, trusted confidant, who won't judge you. Somebody who will be open-minded and will partner with you in a non-judgmental way to help you get unstuck. And then whatever fears you have, whatever obstacles, and whatever limiting beliefs that may be holding you back, this trusted confidant is able to partner with you so that you can shift your perspective and begin to see a new way forward to be able to achieve your desires and your goals in spite and despite what is going on all around you. So I'd say that in addition to that, when we think about coaching, so many fantastic points have been put into the chat box, and they're so right, because it's a process where you get to look within. Somebody spoke about unleashing potential, and that's so correct. You get to look within yourself to unleash your potential and to unlock your inner wisdom. And this is because you have it within you. Sandra, you've said it loud and clear. They have it within them. They're the experts. We're just there to support them. We're just there. I'm just there as a coach. You are just there as a coach. And those on the call, 30 people said they've coached other people at some time or the other. Our role is just to believe in the greatness of the people that we coach and support them towards achieving their goals. I'd like to, refer to, two individuals, and these two individuals even have videos online that speak to coaching. One of them is Bill Gates. He says that everyone needs a coach because we all need people who will give us feedback, and that's how we improve. The second person I'd refer to is Eric Schmidt. He's a former CEO of Google. And he also says that everybody needs a coach because coaching can be incredibly invaluable to help you to do more and to help you to be even more than you thought possible. And Sandra, you referred to this when you spoke about that thought process, much more than you could have thought possible. So really, when you think about, the sports, Sandra, you spoke about golf and tennis, and really, when you think about those sports, you find that the famous athletes in those professions have a coach. So why not us? So coaching is no longer a nice to have, it's a must have.
Wow. Thank you so much, Adaora. Thank you. That's wonderful. I think what you said, I think I'm going to have that write down too. Coaching is a must to have. That is what it is. So now we move on to the next thing. And what we want to look at now is what coaching is not. This is an activity for us now. You're going to also use the chat box if you don't mind. So what coaching is not. So I know some persons have likened coaching to so many things. What do you think are those things people have likened it to? Or even you, somewhere, some time ago, you've likened it to. What coaching is not. Can you pop into chat? Is there anybody that wants to pop into? Oh, thank you, Shola. Shola says coaching is not teaching. Awesome. Okay, thank you. John says coaching is not counseling. Wow, thank you. Global Knowledge Consulting says it's not teaching. Yes. And Charika says it's not mentoring. Wow. It's not manipulating. It's not giving solutions. It's not mentoring. Motion said so. Wow. Coaching is not one-sided. Coaching is not telling. Coaching is not therapy. It's not mentoring. It's not advice. It's not therapy. I don't know if some people looked at our slides. Adaora, do you think some of these participants looked at our slide before we started?
Looks like it.
You're all on spot. You're all on spot. And this is, you can see, coaching is not mentoring. Coaching is not counseling. Coaching is not therapy. Coaching is not training. Coaching is not consulting. Coaching is not teaching. Just look at this maze. This is a maze. And all these things we've listed on the left-hand side, they're into this maze. So we need to remove this maze and come out so the light would shine. So very briefly, Adaora is going to be speaking on mentoring, the first three, while I would speak on the last three. I know some of you have already said that, so we just want to just highlight a bit of what it is. And with that, that would give you a difference, because I think some persons asked what's the difference between coaching and mentoring on chat. And so Adaora, over to you, please.
Okay, thank you. So really just to say that, even as we look at the differences, there's a place for these professions because they are support professions. But of course, Sandra, just as you've said, they're very different from coaching. When we look at mentoring, I have people that I mentor, and they look up to me and consider me like an older or wiser person who can pass on my knowledge, my experience in a particular area to them. And maybe sometimes even open doors, for them to maybe places that are out of reach. But when it comes to mentoring, I'm telling them what to do, I'm telling them how to go about it. But with coaching, my experience is irrelevant, totally irrelevant. My experience has no bearing on the relationship. Now, when I'm mentoring, I'll be saying things like, oh, this is how I would do it. This is how you could do it. But when I'm coaching, I will say, what have you tried? How has that served or deserved you? I will be asking them, what else is possible? I will be stimulating their thinking. I won't be giving them answers. So there's a place for mentoring, but it is not coaching. Then when we look at counseling also is very different. And I'm so pleased that people have, put their comments in the chat box around counseling. It focuses on the past and it explores personal issues and problems, through discussion so that we can understand and develop, self-awareness. So there's quite a bit of similarities when we think about coaching and counseling, but it's very different in the fact that counseling will work more with your personal issues and the past in much greater depth that will be explored within a coaching context. On the other hand, therapy, I am not a therapist. I am not a trained counselor. And when I see people who are therapists, they are professionals in that field. Now, coaching works with healthy individuals who are functioning fully well, whereas a therapist may be working with someone who maybe has some issues that they need to address. So the therapist will say things like, I will help you heal from the cause. They will say things like, tell me about your past. What was it you went through? They will probe, they will psychoanalyze. There'll be a lot of deep reflection so you can come to terms with your past. But unlike coaching, just as Sandra said, coaching is future focused. So those are the differences between mentoring, counseling, and therapy.
Thank you so much, Adaora. Just that I muted my microphone. When you said I'm not a therapist, I was just laughing here.
Absolutely.
Right. So I'm sure for those of us that popped into chat, I'm sure with this, Adaora has said what coaching is not. It has given you a bit of a different, but you can also ask during the Q&A if you still need more clarification. So now, coaching is not training. I'm sure that's why some of you wrote it down. It's not training. You're not coming to teach people what to do. Training is telling people what to do. So you have, for instance, you're going for a time management skill training. The person, you go for that training and you sit all through and the facilitator is telling you, this is what time management is, this is what you need to do, this is how you have to do it. And when you do it like that, this works. Coaching is not that way. I'm not telling you what to do as a coach. I'm listening to you. Tell me what you want to do. And my questions will guide you to be able to go deep down within yourself, just like this tree is, deep down within yourself and bring it out. That is what when you say coaching is not training. And someone also wrote consulting. Yes, Adaora and I were also consultants, HR consultants. Consulting, we go to tell you, we give you the solution. I come into an organization, they said they're having problem with their with the people side of their business, and I'm like, okay, this is why I go into do a needs analysis. I come up with what the problem is. I tell this is what you have to do. Do this, do this, do this, do this, and your organization and your people management will be working. And they do it, and it's working. But as a coach, I will not do that. Adaora will not do that. Any certified coach will not give you the answer. Why? Because the answer is in you. So what we do is to nourish you, to water you, for you to bring out that which is in you. Then last but not the least, coaching is not teaching. Yes, coaching is not teaching. We all know what a teacher is, who a teacher is, what teaching is, telling people how to do things. Coaching, it's not that. So up with this, for those of us that may have had gray areas about aligning coaching with mentoring, saying coaching is the same thing with mentoring or counseling, I think with these few points of Adaora and I, we hope we've been able to convince you, and not to confuse you that coaching is not mentoring, coaching is not counseling, coaching is not therapy, coaching is not training, is not consulting, is not teaching. Coaching is what it is, guiding people. Okay, so we move ahead. I hope each and every one of us, or I hope we are still together on this webinar, and we are getting one or two things and trying to move forward. So why coaching may not be working? This is another activity. I hope we are not giving you so much activity. Please pardon us if we are giving you so much activity. We just want this to be an interactive webinar. I can see you, you can't see me. So we need to ensure that this is interactive. So you're going to pop into chat now. That's the next thing we'll be looking at. Why coaching may not be working. So is it in your organization, or is it in your life, or you've been involved in life coaching, or is it in your business and you've been involved in coaching? Because I have a lot of persons on call that said, like 30% that said they've coached, 25% said they've been coached before. Why do you think coaching is not working? Is there anybody that wants to pop into chat? Why do you think coaching may not be working? Why? Is there anybody that wants to pop into chat why coaching may not be working? So that it is made mandatory or as a punitive measure to poor performance. Yay! Thank you, Thomas. Misconception of the word. Gabriel, thank you, Gabriel. Yes. Your culture does not support a patient discussion. Thank you so much. Thank you. Taking the wrong approach. Wow, these things are just coming in. I'm trying to read some of them. This is wonderful. Toxic cultures and managers. Yay, yes. Not understanding what coaching is via Bernard. Yes, yes. Non-depth conversation. If you leave me, I'll go on and on. There are so many wonderful things on chat. Yes, these and many more is why coaching is not working. So we're going to be looking at why coaching is not working for the organization, one, and why coaching is not working for the individual. So I'm going to be speaking on the organizational part. Why will coaching not be working for an organization? Coaching is working in organization A. They introduced coaching, the culture of coaching, formal coaching, and it's working marvelously. Organization B, they introduced coaching and it is not working and everyone is complaining. Why do you think that will be happening? So this is what I'll be talking about. And after that, I'll give Adaora the floor to also talk about why coaching may not be working for individuals. Now, there's so many reasons. So if you look at this image, can you see? These are broken, maybe it's an earthquake that happened. So some organizations, when they introduce culture, it's an earthquake. It's an earthquake. It's a tsunami they've already done in their organization. And there are reasons for that. So that's why you can see this image, what it's saying. So there are various reasons, but we decided I said to just talk about 4 because of our timing factor. We need to also watch the time. So I just said to talk about 4. And that's why I asked Adaora, are you sure those people did not look at our slides? Because everything on our slides, almost everything on our slides are what people are popping into chat. One of the reasons why coaching may not be working for your organization is there is no culture of support. There's no ownership of the process. The management of the organization went for a board meeting, or they had a dinner with other members of their friends that also belong to management in the other organization. And they said, wow, oh, Sandra, we just introduced coaching in our organization, and wow, we've seen 50% to 80% improvement. And Adaora, sorry, I'm going to use you as a case study. Adaora listening to me says, wow, Sandra, that's wonderful. Okay, I think I would also, we'll also introduce it. And next thing, Adaora comes back to obligation. I heard that coaching is working. Now, everybody, we're going to start coaching from today. Let's start coaching. And whatever people want to do to make sure it works, make it work. And those that are supposed to be the ones to ensure that this coaching works are on the background. They don't own the process. They leave it for the middle management, the junior management, and say, just gotta ensure it works. It will not work. But for coaching to work in an organization, there must be support. There must be ownership. The management, there must be a culture. So in not just coaching working, using the coaching skills, you should be able to use the coaching behavior. And one of the coaching behavior is respect. So your manager, your MD is not seeing you doing something wrong and is asking you a question. Is everything okay with you? Are you sure you got the right certification or the right exams, or you really got your BSc from that university you went to? That's a disrespect to the personality. That's a disrespect to the person. But one of the coaching behaviors is that we respect each other. Be you an MD, be you a CEO, be you a senior manager, be you an executive director, you give respect even to the lowest person, even to your contract staff, to your cleaners, your security men, your gardeners. That's one of the behaviors. So it's not just the skills that we introduce in the organization, but also we use the behaviors. So someone said coaching is from top to bottom. Yes, Charika, that is what it is. So if there's no culture of support from top to bottom, coaching will not work, regardless of the best coaches you bring, regardless of the most expensive coaches, regardless of the marcias you bring, regardless of the top coach, executive coach or top coaches you bring, it will not work if there's no support. Secondly, if coaching is not aligned with a business organizational goal strategy, it will not work. Why? Because you people are doing dichotomy, different things. Maybe, for instance, during the retreat at the beginning of the year, one of the business goals of the organization, of the business was, we're going to be expanding very, very soon, maybe by the end of the year. So why don't we develop leaders that will take over that new business we're starting? And that was one of your business goals. That's what you want to do. And this was the same leader that went for a dinner and saw somebody that told him about coaching and said, okay, let me bring in coaching. Okay, so please, let's start coaching. And for God to let those that will be coaching, the coaches and the coaches, that this is why we are bringing in coaching. One of the goals is to ensure we're able to develop the leaders for the next business and to ensure that everyone are able to have those coaching skills and the behaviors. It will not work because people will be doing divergent and different things. Unrealistic expectations. Some people think in the organization that coaching is there to work the magic. You know, that magic, yes. I introduced coaching into this. So for instance, and Andy says, I introduced coaching into this. We introduced coaching into this business. We paid 10 to 12 million to start up a coaching culture. And now it's 3 months down the line, nothing is happening. Or it's 1 month down the line, nothing is happening. This coaching is not working. I don't need this again. Or you're expecting people to turn around from people that were not performing well to turn around immediately. Those are unrealistic expectations. And that is why in setting your goals in coaching, you must use a SMART principle. Realistic. You need to be realistic about it when setting your goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And last but not the least, coaching is seen as a difficult process and time consuming. I'm sure I've spoken about that. People feel that. So some of the things I've heard from businesses and people I've consulted with in order to coach for them, I've had engagement with, they're like, it's time consuming, it takes so much time that this person is just saying a wrong thing. I can as well give him the answer. Why don't I just give him the answer? Why wait for him to bring it out? So coaching is seen as a difficult process, and it's time consuming. And because of that, people are not ready to commit and they're not interested. So we'll now move on to why coaching is not working for you as an individual. Adaora, over to you, please.
All right, thank you so much, Sandra. And you know, I really want to just acknowledge the participants, because I can really see a lot of the responses are already, you know, the things that we have identified. So it's really wonderful to be here with them. So to just keep it short and sweet, I will say, you know, I would identify the reason it may not be working as what I would call the 3 Fs. 3 Fs. The first F is focusing on the wrong thing. You know, I was coaching someone, a client, you know, recently, and she said to me that, you know, what she wanted to focus on was how to ask for a pay rise. Now, in the course of the coaching conversation, I noticed a few things, and I began to ask her, what makes this goal important for you? What will it do for you if you achieve it? And then she then realized that the issue that she needed to focus on wasn't just how to ask for a pay rise, but how to build her confidence. So that became the focus. And it was important we dealt with the right issue. Otherwise, she would go and ask for the pay rise, and she would show up in the wrong way because she wouldn't be confident, and it would pass the wrong message, and she will not get her results. So the focus is very important, and that's the first F. It will not work if you're focusing on the wrong thing, and that's why you need a coach to help you examine your thinking. The second F that may make coaching not to work is if you're not following through with your plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Now, if you want to get from point A to point B, there are some steps you have to take. So when I have conversations with my clients, if they've identified a particular path that will take them towards their goal, and they've identified, you know, some actions that they have committed to, and then we meet again the second time, and I ask, you know, let's hear about some of the things that worked for you since the last session. And they say, oh, I wasn't able to do anything. I didn't follow through. Rather than just starting a new topic, we may spend some time exploring what got in the way, why they didn't follow through, because they have to follow through. Excuses will not get them anywhere. So we'll find out what's getting in the way, and we will identify that and address that. Now, the third F, and Kate Iketubosi put that in the chat box. She spoke about mindset, and indeed that is spot on. A fixed mindset will not make coaching work. Personally, I cannot coach someone who is not coachable. So if they have a fixed mindset and they believe that coaching will not work, then maybe it just will not work. Now, I must also say that I've had clients who have felt it will not work because of maybe an experience they had in the past or just their fears. But guess what? When they decided to open their mind and try to see the benefits, they actually experience the benefits. So thank you, Kate, for that. Fixed mindset is the third F. So those are some of the things that maybe the reason why coaching may not work for an individual.
Wow, Adaora, thank you so much. And thank you, Moshi, for noting that. I'm taking that to Adaora, 3 Fs. So that's an acronym we'll be using. Wonderful. So these are some of the reasons why coaching may not work for an organization, or coaching may not work for an individual. There are so many reasons, but we just wanted to keep it small, simple, and sweet, right? So we're moving to the next thing. What makes coaching work? So we've looked at why coaching may not be working. So it's now another activity. If you don't mind, our wonderful participants, could you pop into chat again? What do you think will make coaching work now? What makes coaching work? What makes coaching work? Would you be willing to pop into chat again? What makes coaching work? Aligned expectations and vision. Yes, Sonja, that's good. Commitment. Yes. Global knowledge, consulting. Yes, that's it. That's good. Any more? What makes coaching work? Trust. Yes, Charika, trust. And Adaora mentioned that. We cannot overemphasize on that. Trust, this is key. Acceptance from the leadership of the organization. Yes. Belief. Yes. When the coach is one driving it, wants it, and the coach doesn't want it. That's so funny, Thomas. Yes, I can see in some organizations that happens. The coachee wants it, but the coach doesn't want it. Okay, thanks. Go Congress, mutual trust, and so much more, and expertise of the coach, so much more. These are wonderful participants. So these are some of the things. So I'll be talking on what makes coaching work for organizations, while Adaora is going to talk on individuals. So we're going to be very brief about that. We're also looking at our timing to ensure we finish in good time. So what makes coaching work? And some of you have already said it. One is building an effective coaching relationship. And that is why I think, Charika, you talked about trust. Someone else talked about mutual openness, trust, and Sebastian Okeke said that, yes, mutual trust and openness. This is very, very key. Now, Ina Smith, she said, the coach with the best kit bag of skills, knowledge, and business experience will not procure the best outcome from the client unless the coach is able to establish and build a good relationship. And that's just it. And what does it mean to build a good relationship? One, there must be an agreement of trust and empathy. There must be an agreement of respect. I'm going to respect you, you're going to respect me. There must be an agreement of goals. What are our goals? What do we want to achieve? So it's very important that you as the coach work with the coachee to build an effective coaching relationship. When you're able to do that, you will see that coaching will definitely work. And the second thing that makes coaching work is awareness. Bringing about awareness. So I have a coaching session with there's something we do as coaches. We call it peer coaching, whereby I coach a fellow coach, right? And I had this peer coaching session with a fellow coach of mine sometime last year, a coach in South Africa. And at the end of the session, she was like, "Wow, Sandra, thank you so much." And as in, you made me to think, I never knew I could do all this. I could come up with this solution. I could be able to become this I want to be. I sincerely appreciate you. And I'm like, wow, coming from a fellow coach, right? So it busted I started growing. I'm supposed to have 2 ears. I started growing extra 2 ears. I had 4 ears at that point in time, because coming from a fellow coach, that's a whole lot, right? So there's a need to bring into awareness. So for the coaches, so I'm talking about the coaches now in the organization, you need to be able to bring awareness in the presence of the people you're coaching in. They need to come to that knowing. They should be able to come into that knowing. This is very key. Then thirdly, setting of goals. We cannot overemphasize that. Some of you have said that. And you cannot go into a coaching relationship without setting a goal. You cannot just make a caricature, okay, we want to make you better, without writing it down, without noting it down. You must set goals. It is very important. It is very, very key. Then last but not the least, formulate actions. I think Adaora has already shared with us the experience she had with her coaching clients that came and did not follow through. So it's very possible that the person did not even formulate actions, or maybe she did formulate and she did not follow through. So formulate actions is, I've decided that in order for me to improve my listening skills, I will read books on how to listen. I will watch movies on how to listen, or listen to audios. And I will learn to, when people are talking, I wouldn't talk much. I will listen more. So these are actions you want to do. These are steps you want to take to meet that your goal. So you must formulate actions. But what we find out in organizations sometimes is no goals are set. No goals are set. Secondly, no actions are formulated. They do not set goals, they do not formulate actions. But when you're able to do this, coaching will definitely work. Adaora, over to you for the individual.
All right. Thank you again, Sandra. I was just about responding to Thomas, and I will do that in the chat box right after this point about what makes coaching work. Now, I want to share 3 P's just to see how I can just leave this with you in a way that will help you to remember. 3 P's that makes coaching work. And the first one is using a professional like Sandra, who's a trained coach, or myself, who's a trained coach. So if you want coaching to work, you've got to use a trained professional. Now, if you look at the environment in which we're in, you've probably seen that there's so much market dilution and confusion. The International Coaching Federation, which is the gold standard for coaching has some core competencies that every one of their members must adhere to and must possess. You know, things like very strict ethical guidelines and standards, which if they don't uphold, they could lose their license. I was talking to someone the other day, and she calls herself a coach, but she's not an ICF coach. And she was sharing with me what her client had confided in her. I was in total shock because you can't do that. You know, you can't divulge what somebody has shared with you in confidence. So you need to use a professional who understands what coaching is. That's the first P. The second P is the process. Now, coaching is powerful and leads to behavioral change because it supports you to explore your thinking in a way that you cannot do for yourself. When I'm coaching, I listen just not only to what you say, but I will also listen to, so I will listen not just to your words, but I will listen to what's behind your words as well. So I will be observant and present. So I'll give you an example. Imagine you ask somebody, how are you? And before they respond, they sigh, or they hiss, or they lower their eyes, or they shift their head. I will inquire about that. I want to move on because there's something going on there. And that's what coaching is about. There's a process where we notice what is said and even what is not said. And that's why coaching is powerful, because you begin to look at what's beneath the surface and the limiting beliefs and the fears that's holding you or acting as an obstacle. And the third P is that coaching powers. It powers up the human spirit. You know, at times when events in the world around us dampen the spirit, coaching can brighten the path. Coaching can recharge you. Why is this? Because people want to feel seen, they want to feel heard, and they want to feel valued. This was in the chat box. And you know, coaching then provides a safe space for that happens. And I'll leave with you the fact that nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I care about my client's success, and I believe in their greatness. So that's what makes coaching work.
Thank you so much, Adaora. Thank you so much. And when you were speaking, something just came to mind. And when you talked about the process, so for coaching, for it to work, there's a process we follow. There's something we talk about, the silence, being in the presence. There's something also talk about being in the presence. And that's one of the competences in the ICF. It talks about being in the presence. Being in the presence means, so some people sometimes they want to close that gap. Maybe you've asked someone so what is the next way you want to go on with this situation you just spoke about? And you're waiting and the person is not speaking. I'm sure the coach will be like, this person is not talking. The person is wasting time. Say, I just asked you a question. What? No. I'm sure the person heard you, but you give the person the time to ruminate. That silence, this silence is golden. So just pause and let the person. Sometimes I give my clients 1 minute, 2 minutes. I said, these people, they don't know that I'm cheering. That if you want us to wait for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I will join you. I will wait until you get there. And some would have said, but I was wondering why you didn't speak. I said, I was waiting for you. And they smiled and said, thank you for waiting. Because most times they want you ruminate. There's something going in within them, just like Adaora said. So it's very, very important for us to take note of it. Those of us that are internal coaches that may not be certified yet, but are using the coaching skills in your organizations, ensure you use all these coaching skills and coaching behavior. Thank you so much, Adaora. Wonderful. I'm also learning from everyone, learning from you, Adaora, learning from even the participants. And that's why we said, you're not in a an encyclopedia. We are not encyclopedia of knowledge. Fine, we might have true experience and being certified coaches and through our known so much, but no, we do not know everything all. And I've learned so much from the chat. I was just also going through the chat box and I'm like, wow, these are wonderful participants. So thank you so much, everyone. Now we are getting to the end of our webinar. So we're going to be doing 2 more activities before we wrap up. We're about wrapping up. Now we're going to what are the benefits of coaching. So you've heard Adaora and I, and even from your colleagues on the chat, people have pointed out different things. We've looked at what coaching is, what coaching is not, what makes coaching not work, what makes coaching work. Now, what would you say are the benefits of coaching? What would you say are the benefits of coaching? Can you pop into chat? What would you say are the benefits of coaching? Thank you. Builds relationship and confidence. Yes, it does. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Any other person? What would you say are the benefits of coaching? Clarity for the coaches. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Learning from each other, extending growth. Thank you. Helps you get better. Thank you. Confidence building. Thank you. I don't think Adaora and I need to say anything again. Growth for the coachee. Thank you. Makes people feel valued. Yes. Fulfillment. Yes. I don't think Adaora and I are going to say any other thing. Empowerment unleashes your potentials and helps to realize your goal. New learning for the coach and many more. So we wanted to look at benefits of coaching for both the organization and the individual. So I'm going to just take 1 point, and Adaora also take 1 point because we're also looking at our timing. We're trying to wrap up now. So one thing, I will try to see if I can say something someone has not popped into chat. I hope I'm able to do that. So I'm supposed to be looking at what are the benefits of coaching for the individual. Hope nobody has said build awareness. As someone said that. Okay, Tanesh has said that. Increase your levels of engagement. So in your organization, for instance, in your organization, you get more engaged. You're an engaged employee. An engaged employee is what we need. So I tell people, you don't need a happy employee. Please take notes. This is my personal opinion. You could check it out. I don't know, but I feel you don't need an happy employee. What you need is an engaged employee, because you could have an happy employee and the happy employee is not engaged. Why? It's very possible that the happy employee is in accounts, in finance, and there are loopholes. You don't have your double principle that is checking people, check and balance, and the person is going home with so much money. That employee is so happy. The employee might not be engaged to ensure the organization grows. So what I tell organization is ensure you build engaged employees, because engaged employees will always be happy employees. Just take note of that. Engaged employees will always be happy employees. So I think that's the only thing I'm going to add, because every other thing you've all added it. Thank you so much. Adaora, I will move to you. Just one for the business, one benefit.
Okay, thank you. I'll just quickly share a case study from Coca-Cola Hellenic Bottling Company in Russia, which is one of the largest companies in Russia's non-alcoholic beverage industry. So they wanted to move away from the command and control management, because as we all know, even though we want people to do more, they are first human beings. They're not just human doings. So what they did was they used external coaches for their top management. Then they trained people within the business to become internal coaches. And then they also trained some of their managers and leaders on how to use coaching skills so they could have better conversations. And what they found was that employee engagement across the enterprise increased by 20%. And then the organization's value index, which shows how much the employees know and practice the organization's values, that increased by 85.88%. And of course, innovation went up, critical thinking went up, employee engagement went up, just like you've said, Sandra. So really and truly, the heart of a business is a business of the heart. So that is what I would say as one of the benefits of coaching to the business. It will improve the productivity, engagement, and of course, get more critical thinkers, which will impact the bottom line of the company.
Thank you so much, Adaora. Thank you. And thank you for everyone that's popping into chat. You've just been wonderful participants. You've been awesome participants. I just wish I could have such participants like you at every other webinar we'll be having. Every other webinar Adaora and I will be having such wonderful participants, such knowledgeable participants. Okay, we are wrapping up the webinar now, and this is now a call to action. This is what we call the action plan. The action plan is a call to action. What would you be doing differently? That is one. What would you be doing? What is the new learning you've taken that you'll be doing differently? That's yes. And secondly, what would you continue to do? If something you've already been doing that you want to continue to do, what would you continue to do? That's secondly. So this is time for your action plan. If it's okay by you, what I would want you is to write it by your side. Maybe you have a jotter by your side, write it. But if you feel it's okay by you, you want to pop into chat, that would be wonderful. So I wouldn't want to ask you to do what you don't want to do. So if it's something you think you can do, you want to pop into chat so we could also learn what are your action plans, what you intend from all we've discussed, we've had the conversation we had. What is your action plan? What will you stop doing, or what will you continue to do, or what will you start doing? So those are 3 ways: stop doing, continue to do, or start doing. Thank you so much, Kofi. Kofi says, I hope I got your name right, says, I want to learn more about coaching. Awesome. Hanif says, enhance my engagement with coaches. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. So thank you very much. So you could continue to pop into chat. That's very wonderful. And we would look at it as we go. Then we now move ahead we're wrapping up the webinar wrap up. I hope you have this light bulb moment. I'm sure you're looking at my image on the left. The image on the left shows a man that has a light bulb, clarity, and light has come, right? So I hope you're having that. So we're wrapping up the webinar now. And before I do this, let me ask Adaora. Adaora, what are your last words on what we've been talking about all through? What are your last words?
Oh, okay, thank you. I'll just say really that, if you truly desire, to maybe get on stock or to achieve goals, and you're really open to receiving support from, professional coaches who will partner with you, believe in you, and provide a safe space for you, then coaching is for you. Now, I do know that, the environment we're in has created more pressure to do more with less. But like I mentioned, if you can make the most of your internal resources, whether it's of your employees or your own internal resources, you will be able to achieve those goals that you want to set, that you've set for yourself.
Okay, thank you so much, Adaora. So the last word for me, what makes coaching work is not far from all these things Adaora and I have spoken about since we started. If coaching is to work, then it is encouraged that you, the coach, adheres to these salient elements, and you, the coachee, also adheres to the salient elements Adaora and I have listed, and some of your colleagues on the call have listed. Hopefully, this element should be able to point you in the right direction to ensure that coaching works not once. No, we don't want coaching to work just once. We want coaching to work all the time for you. Also, through constant practice and awareness of yourself. See, it starts with awareness of yourself as the coach or the coachee before you awareness of other people. So through constant practice and awareness of yourself and other people coaching will definitely work for you. Then it has worked for me. Coaching has worked for Adaora. Coaching has worked for so many certified coaches out there. Coaching has worked for so many professionals out there. Coaching has worked for so many people out there. And it will continue to work for people. It has not stopped. It will continue to work for people. So what are you waiting for? Why don't you start now and let coaching work for you? And I wish you, Adaora and I, is there anything like bottom of the heart, Adaora? Is there anything like that? Or is that a wrong English?
There is, Sandra.
We say to you all, happy coaching as you go on coaching. So last but not the least, now, just to revisit when we started. I told you Adaora and I were going to take you to a journey. Someone said he wanted to go to Seychelles. So I hope I did get that right. But I said I wanted to go to Bahamas. That's where I wanted to go. Adaora, you didn't tell me where you wanted to go to. You didn't say so. So could you tell them where you want to go to the next vacation?
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Wow. Okay, wonderful. I hope there's someone from Jamaica on call here, please. So we need to liaise with Adaora and tell her how she will come there. So we said that the webinar objective we are revisiting, that at the end of this webinar, you should be able to identify at least 2 reasons why coaching may not be working for you or somebody else you know. That's one. Secondly, to be able to identify at least 2 ways to make coaching work for you. I hope you've been able to do that. And we said to be able to list at least 2 benefits of coaching to you as an individual and to the business, or if you run your own business. And I hope we've been able to do this. And that when I was in the primary school, I was in the debate community, in the debate committee. He said, so I hope Adaora and I have been able to convince you, but not to confuse you, that coaching works and it works all the time. And so this is myself and Adaora, and this is my contact details. So Adaora and I have been in the business of coaching, and we love what we do. And if you feel you're interested, you want to develop the coaching skills, or your organization needs people that will help them develop coaches that will use the skills in the organization, or you want to have a one-on-one coaching conversation, one-on-one coaching engagement, please feel free to reach out to me, Sandra. This is my number, my email, and my tweet. I'm on the social media. That's my Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Adaora, over to you.
Oh, thank you. So really, I mean, just to quote, a 2018 report by PwC that says coaching is the second fastest growing profession in the world. It is second only to the IT industry, and it's a $2.4 billion industry, and
Wow.
it continues to grow year after year. So just like, Sandra said, if you really have a desire to become a professional coach, we have an approved program that you can enroll for. If you also just want to acquire coaching skills so you can use it or enhance what you already have, we're here to support you. Or if you feel stuck and you'd like to gain some clarity and courage to achieve your goals, then please do reach out to us, and Sandra and myself will be more than pleased to provide the support you need so you can achieve your goals. We're still in Q1 of 2021. So this is time. This is
Thank you so much, Adaora. And these are the references. So whenever we do any presentation, webinar, training, whatever we do, we always reference whatever materials we use. And it's now Q&A. Anna, over to you. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been wonderful for myself and Adaora. You've been wonderful participants. We love you all so much. Thank you so much. Anna, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sandra and Adaora. That was a very insightful session. Dear participants, we now open the Q&A session. So if you would like to speak, we'll be happy to unmute you. But please, first of all, raise your hand. So if you would like to raise your hand, you can find that button next to the megaphone. Yeah. Or just let me know in chat and we will unmute you. So do you have any questions or any comments? This is your great chance to speak to certified coaches. Anything at all that you would like to ask them? The first reference slide. Can you please bring up the first reference slide? I think this is the one. And I think, Sandra, please correct me, you are going to share your presentation, right? If not, at least references.
Yes, please. So, I'm going to share the presentation slides.
Excellent. So I will publish all of this on the webinar page and will also include those in my follow-up email to all participants. Yes, we will share resources with you, as well as the recording of this session. Okay, I see we have a question from Rana. Imran, Mark, do you mind unmuting Rana?
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the great session and sharing the great details about the coaching aspects. So I just want to a short question about which option is a better, as we have a multiple certifications so far available. One is the ICF credentials, then we have Marshall Goldsmith and few more options, right? So can you just elaborate a slight review about what are the main differences between those, and which one you rate or suggest us as a more appropriate way to get ourselves to be certified?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. And I would answer this and also ask Adaora in case she has something to add to it. So now ICF is the body that has the gold standard. So ICF, there are organizations that have been certified by ICF to certify coaches. Adora's organization is one of that. Adora, I think I should allow you to answer this question. Our organization is already one of that. So when you've done that, then there's something we call the ICF certification. After being a certified coach, it doesn't stop there. You want to become ACC, PCC, or MCC. That's when you go through ICF, and there are ways for you to go through it. That's when you need to now first register with ICF, become a member. Now, to get ACC, we have you're going to have 100 hours, 75 hours paid, and 25 hours unpaid. So these are some of the things that you would see. But for you to be a certified coach, there are various organizations that have been certified, and I wouldn't want to start listing names so that have been certified to guide in that process. But I think Adora's organization has been certified. So Adaora, please could you speak to this?
All right. Okay. Sorry, the network went funny for a little bit. But in terms of certification, it takes different durations based on the organization. But our organization does a 16 weeks certification process. It costs $2,500 and it comes with mentor coaching, and it comes with all the tools, all the resources, all the approaches that you would require to come out confident to be able to coach globally. The ICF is in 148 countries, so you're able to take advantage of all the countries where the market already exists. So this is just a little snippet of what we can do for you.
Thank you so much, Adaora. Over to you, Anna.
I saw there was another question that I think remained unanswered. What are the models for coaching besides the GROW model that are popular? This question came from Srinivas.
Okay, can you hear me now, please? Anna,
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Sandra. Please go ahead.
Okay, so we have different models, just like you said. So we have the GROW model, we have the T-GROW coaching model, we have the Oscar coaching model, we have the Claire model. So we have various coaching models. So it's now left for you to decide what model would work for you. So like I said, I've checked out some of all those models. I've tried using Oscar sometimes, which is not a problem, which is okay. But I am more comfortable using the GROW model, and that's what I use. So there are various models, so you could decide as a coach what model you would use. But all of them also have there's a generalization, because you have goals, you want it to be able to achieve the goals, you want it to be able to ensure that you, as you achieve the goals, you know that you've achieved the goals. So that's what most of them do. So I don't know if this answers the question.
And I guess that probably warrants another session on coaching, on different models in coaching.
Not a problem. We'll be ready to do that if they want us to do that.
Absolutely. And I just want to add that whilst the models are good as a framework, what matters most is the competencies. Will you be able to uphold the high ethical standards? Will you be able to listen effectively? Will you be able to be mindful and present and non-judgmental? Will you be able to evoke awareness? So these competencies are really critical when you're coaching, whether, as Sandra said, you're using coaching skills in the organization or working as a professional coach. So the competencies are very key. Models help, but competencies are core to coaching.
Thank you so much, Adaora. I think there's a question for you that I think you could answer. So as Jim asked, when certification is completed, do you need to recertify? If yes, at what interval and at what cost?
No, you don't need to recertify. You don't need to recertify. So if you could reach out to us, we Michael and I think Axiom, or someone that's asked, then we can definitely share with you all the details. So you don't need to recertify.
Thank you, Adaora. Anna, over to you again.
Sandra and Adaora, I see there are more questions about certification. Are their competencies assessed? So which competencies, I guess, are being assessed? And what are the levels of certification that are available to those who would like to get certified as coaches?
Okay, so yes, there's ongoing assessment for the competencies. So I think it will be, Anna, how do they reach out to us so that we can actually provide, the fine details and take a deep dive into some of these questions?
Well, that's
maybe Sandra should share her details again. Maybe Sandra should share that slide again.
We can arrange it in a few different ways. So first of all, if you don't mind, I will share, Adaora, I will share your contact information and Sandra's contact information with all the participants in my follow-up email. So I guess they can reach out to you directly, or the participants can direct their questions to me, and we can probably channel them, and share answers with everyone. So whatever works for you.
That's fine, Anna. I'll go with whatever works best for everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, it looks like we need to wrap up. It's 10:30 a.m. here in Washington, D.C., and I guess it's getting late in other parts of the world. So I would like to once again thank our presenter and our very special guest today, Sandra and Adaora, for a very insightful session on coaching. And it looks like there are so many more topics in coaching that's in our future webinars. So if you're interested, please let us know, dear participants, and you can do that through the SurveyMonkey survey that I just posted. So we would be very grateful for you, for your feedback, and for the new topics for us to cover in the future. So I would like to wrap up, and thank you so much again. Have a good night, have a good evening, day, wherever you are, and we'll see you on April 15th for our 8th GLC webinar.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Adaora. Thank you, Mark.